Hello, and welcome back to UK Paranormal Files. In today's episode, we shall take a look at a legendary tale of a haunted house. Springhill House in County Londonderry was once the home for 10 generations of a single family from Ayrshire. Although the exact date of its construction is uncertain, its origins go back to the 1680s when Goodwill Conyngham married 16-year-old Anne Upton. Her father, anxious to ensure that she and any offspring should be kept in the manner to which he thought they'd become accustomed, drew up a marriage contract requiring Goodwill to build a convenient dwelling house of lime and stone, 2 stories high, with the necessary office houses, gardens and orchards. Rising to the challenge, Will erected a handsome, tall-roofed house, which was added to and lived in by many subsequent generations of his family, until 1957, when Captain Olivia Lenox-Conyngham bequeathed Springhill and its contents to the National Trust. Visitors to the house today can admire its period furnishings and the renowned oak staircase, whilst enjoying the sensation of having their every move observed by long-dead members of the family, whose portraits gaze eerily down from the walls. Springhill's most haunted area seems to be the Blue Room. Visitors to the house regularly feel alarming temperature drops when they step across the threshold. The guides who lead the tours around the property put this down to the presence, which is known to haunt the room. In 1814, George Lenox-Conyngham was away on his army duties when he received news that his children had been stricken with smallpox. George, who was a man known to be prone to bouts of melancholy, went out of his mind with worry as he waited for news of their condition. Agonising days passed with no news, and George, out of his mind with worry, abandoned his post and headed home. On the way out, he met his commanding officer and good friend, Robert Stewart. He was sure that Stewart would understand his plight, and he had similarly covered for Stewart on other occasions. It was no surprise when Stewart raised no objections to him leaving. He made it back to Springhill, where he found that his wife, Olivia, had nursed all the children back to good health, but his relief was to be short-lived. News arrived that he was to be court-martialed for abandoning his post, and his so-called friend had betrayed him. George was dismayed, but things were about to get worse, and shortly thereafter, one of his daughters died suddenly. George fell into a deep depression, which is said to have lasted 2 years. One night, he went downstairs to the gun room, took a pistol from the wall, returned to the Blue Room where he sat on the bed, and raised the gun to his temple. Olivia, his beloved and grieving wife, realised what he was about to do, rushed to prevent the suicide. It was too late. She had just reached the bedroom door when the shot echoed through the home. Olivia would record in the family Bible, George Lenox-Conyngham, being of a very melancholy state of mind for many months prior, put an end to his existence by pistol shot. He lingered from the 20th of November 1816 to the 22nd and died, thanks to Almighty God, a truly penitent Christian. Olivia's ghost has been seen frequently over the years at the doorway to the Blue Room. Legend has it, when her phantom is seen, it appears as if she's repeating that belated dash to stop her husband from ending his own life. During the latter part of the 19th century, a houseguest named Miss Wilson had sat up late one night, chatting with the daughter of the house, Millie Conyngham. When Millie finally retired to bed, Miss Wilson noticed that she had left her diary behind. As she left her room to return the diary, she was startled by the sudden appearance of a tall woman at the top of the stairs. The apparition moved towards her with its arms raised in despair, and then slowly faded away. Many years later, Miss Hamilton, another guest staying at the house, had gone to bed one night in the Blue Room. She was just starting to fall asleep when the room appeared to fill with agitated servants who were pushing and wrangling in whispers. As she lay there, terrified, she heard a clicking noise from the wall behind her bed, and turning, saw a door open and a light shine from within. She later recalled how someone seemed to come through this light and still the commotion, and quote, so that all fear left me, and after a while, I fell asleep. The next morning, she was startled to find that no door existed anywhere behind her bed. When she relayed her experience to Charlotte Lenox-Conyngham, she was informed that there was a door behind the bed, but it had long since been bricked up and papered over. In more recent years, the Blue Room's wallpaper has been stripped off and the secret door uncovered. It opened into a powder closet, on the floor of which lay an ancient pair of gloves and a small pouch containing bullets. In the early years of the 20th century, the last generation of Lenox-Conyngham children to live at the house were asleep one night when a nanny suddenly awoke to find Olivia's phantom standing over the children. It was as though she was checking on the well-being of each of them. The nursemaid felt no fear. Indeed, she was moved by the concern that the apparition appeared to show towards the children. Within a few moments, evidently satisfied that all was well, the ghost simply faded away and was gone. Stories of the ghost of Springhill have endured for such a long time now, much like with other legendary haunted locations in the UK. At its source is a grisly tale of child death and suicide, a morbid mixture of grief and torment, recounted and dressed up with the fascinating twist of Olivia's ill-fated attempt to prevent her husband from ending his own life. One can only imagine her own grief at losing her child first, then to endure her husband's depression before he eventually ended it. For him at least. For him the pain ended. But for those he left behind, an ever greater grief was bequeathed, and Olivia's recording in the family Bible seems unduly charitable. This is one of the classic and enduring British ghost tales. Many who can find it within their belief system to allow for the possibility of ghosts will no doubt enjoy the tale of Springhill. There is nothing here that will convince the doubters. As a National Trust property, it is possible for the believer and skeptic alike to visit around the house and see and experience the scene. As it is no longer inhabited and the stories seem to feature around bedtimes and evenings, I suspect it's unlikely we'll hear of any new encounters, and one hopes that Olivia's spirit will be at rest. It is a classic legend in that sense, and one that would make for an entertaining focus of a televised paranormal investigation. There is a curious mix in my mind of the tales though, with many stories citing a reliving of Olivia's terrifying dash, perhaps a residual imprint of a moment of sheer terror and impending grief imprinted in the fabric of time, destined to repeat over and over again. But this was not the moment of Olivia's own death, and as other accounts state, with the children, for example, a more relaxed, calm, intelligent, caring phantom. Caring for the children much like a beloved and dedicated mother when mortal. Indeed, on the National Trust's own website, they entitle a page discussing Olivia's phantom as, quote, haunted by a spirit who loves children. It is time to rank the ghost of Springhill House on the UK Paranormal Files credibility meter, and for this I've scored the story as interesting. Please let me know in the comments if you agree with this score. If you've enjoyed the video, please click the like button. If you'd like to see more from the UK Paranormal Files channel, please hit the subscribe button and click the bell icon to receive notifications when new videos come out. Thanks very much for watching.